Okay, so today we're going to talk about Juggernaut. This is a trade that I picked up recently because it looked like a fun read. I don't really know a lot about the X-Men universe, particularly the modern situation it's currently in. All I know is they're over on Krakoa. Anyway, this is by Fabian Nicieza, art by Ron Garney and colours by Matt Miller. You know Juggernaut, he is the stepbrother of Charles Xavier. He has the Gem of Cyttorak, who he also knows as Crimson Bands of Cyttorak from Doctor Strange, and it turns him into an unstoppable, hulking man. The avatar of Cyttorak on Earth, Cyttorak being a godlike person in the Marvel Universe. Anyway, this book follows Kane Marco, Juggernaut, as he's got a new suit. It gets explained throughout the book how he got that, and he's trying to turn over a new leaf. You have lots of flashbacks showing how he had his Gem of Cyttorak crushed by the X-Men in a previous story, so he lost his powers and he was banished to another sort of realm, a limbo type place, against a modern story where he's trying to do good. He ends up getting involved with a kid who says she's definitely not a mutant, and she's called D-Cell. She's got a power where she can slow down molecules and sort of time, so anyone trying to do anything, or say a building falling down, it all happens in slow motion, so people have time to escape, or they can work around the situation. Anyway, they buddy up because they're both sort of outcasts, and she has a Rock's Tube channel, it's like YouTube, and she sort of live streams his attempts to do right. And Kane admits he's not a good guy necessarily, but he's trying to make up for his past sins. You have a fight with the Hulk, you see him clearing up the damage from it, and you see them in court arguing over whether or not he is any different from the Hulk when he causes damage. Of course he is, because he's got his senses about him, whereas the Hulk is a raging monster, and he gets put on trial for damages. That's sort of the main modern story, and you find that there's also something involving Arnim Zola and a supervillain prison where the government is essentially sanctioning the capture of these villains and the taking of their powers. Now, that sort of takes a backstory to the bit I was interested in, which was how he got his new suit. And that's quite a fun sort of side story. It certainly couldn't have a book on its own. Based on the amount of information we get here, I think it's exactly the right amount of information. And you see him going on this quest to find the bands of Cyttorak, or some sort of way to communicate with Cyttorak and get the power back. And he eventually locates them in a forge and rebonds with them. But there's a little twist in the tale that I won't reveal here, and I won't spoil it by going any further, where you find that he's not necessarily got the same connection that he previously had. It may be bad, it may be worse, I don't know. What I do know is this series stopped in January 2021, so it looks like it's not being carried on, because obviously this review is going out in October 2021, and I'm not aware of there being any further books published. This trade collects issues 1 to 5. I'd say if it's in the sale, so like £2, £30, £2.40, whatever Comixology normally price these ones at, get it. I wouldn't pay £8-9 for it, it's not worth it. If it's cheap on a trade, sort of on Amazon or on a second-hand reseller, I would pick it up for say £3-4. But again, I don't think it's worth much more than that. It's just a fun diversion, a fast-paced action story with a little bit of extra mythology thrown in there around the Juggernaut, and it's an interesting twist on the character.